Mod check. Mod check. Welcome everyone to the Modcast, the number one podcast on Wayton's Discord server. I am your host Reb with another episode of the Modcast. Before we start, I have a couple announcements to make. So I was supposed to start this month with uh 2 episodes a month, but I'm very busy, and I'll explain. I'll go more into detail later on. Um, very busy, so this month probably won't have a second episode. I'm gonna try my hardest to push for a second episode this month, but it probably won't happen. Um, and I would like some feedback in the comments for that new intro. I've been talking to some friends, getting some feedback there. Got a new intro going on. I'm gonna work a little bit more on the Modcast logo. I know it's a little simple. I'm gonna work on that a little bit, but I haven't had the time. I've kind of delayed this podcast about a week and a half. And finally being able to push this thing out. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome our special guest, and I hope everyone can give a warm welcome to Mobagz.
Hey, how's it going?
So, like I said, this is a very delayed podcast. This was supposed to happen like a week and a half ago. I sent the DM being like, "Are you good? Let's get this started." I want
You're
all
like,
the
hey, I wanna.
podcast.
You're like, hey, I want to do it tomorrow, and then
And then
2 weeks
tomorrow,
later,
tomorrow finally came.
insert like SpongeBob time card.
Yeah.
3
Tomorrow.
weeks later.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Before we actually get started, is there anything you want to talk about? I'd like to ask the guests if there's like any IRL stuff you really want to talk about.
I mean, I've obviously had a lot going on. I mean, I think you can kind of tell that I haven't been super active in the Discord or Twitch. I mean, Twitch is tough because Wayton's always is streaming while I'm working, anyways.
Yeah. Relatable.
Unless he's like doing some sort of like random stream on the weekend or something. But yeah, I mean, I just been busy, like super busy IRL with my job. Recently promoted there, so now I'm kind of in charge of my department and all that good stuff. We can probably go more into what I don't know if you guys are interested in what I do or not, but we can probably talk about that later if that's something you want to do. But yeah, mostly just been kind of hanging out on the weekends, cooking some food, and just kind of doing some random stuff. Looking to do like escape room in the next couple of weeks here.
Ooh.
A couple of weeks ago, I did a haunted house. But yeah, a lot of what I do, like in my free time now, is cooking. So I've been cooking up a lot of stuff. I used to, I think, share some like photos in the Discord server, but I kind of stopped doing that. But I still
Yeah.
take a lot of pictures of everything that I got, so those are all kind of stored away on a little private Discord server. So I been kind of keeping like a little diary.
Nice. Just
Yeah.
make sure you keep up being like, I did this at this time, and those. Make sure you check up on the memories. Had a
Well,
good time
right. Well,
cooking.
yeah. Not only that, but because I'll often kind of repeat stuff that I do. A lot of the food that I make is like out of a
Cookbook.
Japanese
Oh.
cookbook. It's out of a Japanese cookbook. So I think the name of the book is like cooking with anime or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Kind of just like a little goofy book that I think I saw like in some sort of like Twitter post or maybe even on TikTok or something like that. Saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. So I looked it up on Amazon. Sure enough, it was there. I ordered it, and basically the premise of this book, uh, on top of sort of going over how to cook Japanese cuisine, what ingredients you sort of need to have in your pantry, it sort of each dish that is included is featured in an anime. So
Ooh.
it'll show you how to make it, how to prepare it, different options for cooking it or dressing it up or whatever. But it'll also tell you like facts about what anime it was in, other animes that it's also featured in. So you can sort of like if you can think of a show, because it'll have like it has like a show index and then an ingredient index and a
Yeah.
what it's got everything in there. So if you see something that you've seen in a show that you're like, damn, that looks really good, you can look up that show and then you can see what food is from that anime. So that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one that does that, but you sort of see something in some sort of show that you're watching, and you're like, damn, I kind of want to like know what that tastes like. Like if you
Yeah.
see like the one that I always see is like My Hero Academia. They say what their favorite meals are, like in the little mid title cards.
Mhm.
And so like Deku's favorite meal is pork cutlet, and that is like one of my favorite things to make now. And I wouldn't have found out about it if it wasn't for that show, and I wouldn't have learned how to make it if it wasn't for the book that I got.
Yeah. So I had some of my friends from Colorado come over, and I
Mm.
also met Shorty. This was like 3 weeks ago. Um, we went to Korean barbecue,
Oh,
and
nice.
something I've always wanted to try was ramen because of Naruto. I wanted to try tonkotsu. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there they had it. They had one of my friends was like, "Dude, I've had tonkotsu. It's great." And he was like, "I recommend you trying this spicy pork belly." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not?" And I tried it, and it was incredible.
Yeah,
I
tonkatsu ramen is so good.
Yeah, and it made me want to, actually go out and get tonkatsu, but I haven't had the time. So, but I'm excited for it. It's after having the spicy pork belly, I was like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, pork belly is really good. That's actually one of the ingredients in the meal that I'm making today. Is I think they called it like slab pork, but essentially it's pork belly, which is the same thing. So it'll have like a little layer of skin, and then it's got the layer of fat, and then it's got the layer of meat. So it's kind of like bacon, but and
Yeah,
it's like it's whole form.
yeah, 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 yeah,
um,
definitely.
so I'm making what that's going to be going in is a New England clam chowder, which is what I'm going to be making tonight with like fresh clams, fresh pork belly, and obviously all the other ingredients. It'll be all from scratch.
Nice.
I don't know what's all in it. I haven't looked up the recipe. My girlfriend is the one that sort of looks some of the stuff up. We kind of take turns on who's sort of taking the lead and sort of who is helping out in the kitchen.
Nice.
So
So
I'm the helper tonight, but that's what we're making.
that sounds great. That sounds great. But on the topic of going about anime, are there any animes you're watching right now? Anything that's catching your eye in this season?
I feel like the one that everybody's probably watching, talking about, wanting to see is Chainsaw Man.
Mm.
I think a couple. Well, no, I'm not a couple episodes behind. I'm one episode behind because I watch most of my shows on the weekend. Chainsaw Man airs on Tuesday, so I'll watch it over the weekend, and then an episode will air, and then I'll watch it on the weekend, and then pretty much as soon as I watch it, the next one is out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been pretty good. That one I actually own the manga. Haven't read all of it yet, but I think like 3/4 of the way through it. So far, I've been really enjoying the anime adaptation. That's been really good. The other one that I've been watching is Spy Family.
Spy Family's great.
That that one. So I'm actually like kind of not. I don't know. I feel like the first part was so good, like really funny. Had like super cool like action scenes. Had like sort of like that goofy fight scene between Yor and Forger. What's they called? Midnight. I think that's his like code name or something. They had
Twilight
that
for
really
sure.
Twilight. That's what it is. Yeah. So they had that really cool fight, like in the middle of the first part of the first season, which is really good. I feel like we. I don't know. I feel like I've been wanting more to happen in the episodes, and they felt sort of, I don't know, a little bit slower than I was kind of used to in that first part. But I'll sort of hold my final judgment, I guess, until the end of the actual season, and then um, stuff that I'm kind of waiting for down the pipeline would be like um, next part of Attack on Titan, next part
Oh
of Rent a
yes.
Girlfriend.
There's
Um,
some
there's a
bangers coming
lot.
in this next season. 100%.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot, and I'm hoping that we'll have some sort of announcement for ReZero because that's definitely one of my favorite anime. But it was 4 years between seasons, so
Yeah, some of the Discord
we've
OGs
been
know.
two. Yeah, we've been 2 years since the last season uh, wrapped up. So hopefully, hopefully
Two
pretty
more
soon we
years
get.
copium.
Yeah, exactly. 2 more years it'll be out for sure. I know they've got plenty of material to work on, as far as like where the light novel that it's based on is at, but we'll see if they ever do anything. I don't even know. the studio I think is it's not Cloverworks. It's like White Owl or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else they do other than ReZero, but they take their sweet time adopting it or adapting it rather.
Yeah, definitely. Some studios take. Well, I mean, an example of one of the animes that's finally airing now, Bleach. You know, that's a great example.
Okay, so I am super super far behind on Bleach.
Same.
I watched whatever was available on Netflix like 2 maybe 3 years ago, and I have not watched anything since. And I'm pretty sure like the the vast majority is not available on Netflix. So I am like
Yeah,
so
I'm a
far
little
behind. Like I think the biggest thing. No, go ahead.
um. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I'm not super caught up with Bleach either. I think there's like before the season came out, there's like around 300 something episodes, and I'm like, I think in the early 200s, so I'm still like 100 episodes behind. But I haven't had the time to really just catch up on it, you know. But I'm definitely trying to catch up as fast as I can because this, from what I've heard from some of my friends, is that it's pretty exciting.
Well,
So
yeah,
far.
I mean it's one of the big three for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably the most like of the three big three. I would say that that's probably one of the more like attainable if you're not someone that watches like super long running anime. I
Well,
feel like
Naruto and One Piece compared to Bleach is crazy on episode count.
well, right. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you could that's like more attainable if you have like a busy schedule IRL and you don't have like a lot of time to like dedicate to something. Or if you're interested in watching other things, like my brother's been watching One Piece pretty much exclusively for like the last 2 years. And like hasn't had time to really watch anything else. I think he's watched Attack on Titan, One Piece, and I think he's currently watching Chainsaw Man because I think he finally caught up in One Piece. But like watching a long show like that just consumes all of your time if you're trying to catch up.
Yeah, definitely. I've strayed away a little bit from Bleach a little bit recently. I watched a bunch of animes in the meantime.
Hmm.
Um, right now I'm super into Blue Lock. I don't know if you know about Blue Lock.
I know a little bit about it. My brother did show me a couple clips from it. It's I don't know. Like I've definitely heard good things, but it's just not something that's on my radar necessarily.
Hmm.
One that I've been the one that I've sort of like put on when I don't put anything else on has been Fruits Basket is actually what I've been
Oh,
watching. So I'm like more of like a slice of life. Yeah, I guess that's just the best way to put it. Is I'm a big fan of slice of life anime, so that's definitely what I gravitate towards. Not so much
okay,
like the over the top action slash like dramatized sport anime.
okay.
I get their appeal, but it's just not something for me. I definitely like the more like laid back character driven type stories.
I definitely understand. I'm a mixture of both. I love the slice of life genre, but I also love the more hardcore fantasy stuff as well. Um, it's just I'll switch between the two. Sometimes I'll watch too much fantasy and I'm like, all right, I need to go to something a little bit not related to like super hardcore like magic fight scene stuff. Just like
Yeah.
relax, let
Well, it's
watch some
like
slow stuff.
for instance, like I think my favorite anime, like in the last like, I mean, this is kind of it changes. So like I don't really necessarily always have like a favorite one, but the one that I most enjoyed watching in the last like couple of years, I would say, would have been My Dress Up Darling. Like I
Mm.
loved that show. It was so funny, so good. Like had a lot of good moments in it. And so that was one that definitely was like stuck out as like a top tier, like super funny, super good anime for me.
Yeah, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that that
I
was
haven't
like
watched. I haven't watched it. It's on my list, but
oh,
I.
it's
It's
so good.
it's one of those animes that I'm like I'm gonna get to it, and then I find another anime that I'm like I need to watch this, so I just keep putting it off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just I keep putting it off, and it's been like on my list for like a month and a
Yep.
half now.
One that I've been putting off forever is Comey Can't Communicate. That
Oh,
one has
Shorty's
been.
not gonna like that one.
Well, is
His
he a big
Steam.
fan?
I don't know if he's a big fan, but I just know his profile picture on Steam is Comey.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like
So
her like bug-eyed?
I
Wait,
believe
you said
so.
you said Shorty?
Yeah, Shorty.
Shorty has the little Pokemon.
Shinx? No, not on Discord, on Steam.
Oh, on Steam. Okay,
Yeah, on
okay,
Steam.
okay.
He has Comey. He's
I
Comey on.
gotcha. I was like, his little Discord thing is Shinx,
Yeah.
and then he's got Sasha as his little like background thing.
Oh no, we're not gonna bring up the Sasha topic. Oh no.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about her.
um, yeah,
Good
unlucky.
old potato. That's actually funny because that's one of like the recipe in that recipe book that Attack on Titan is like the main one that's featured in is like just a baked potato. Like that it like all it is it's literally just like a baked potato with butter, and it's like this meal is featured in Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
Pretty big
there's
recipe.
yeah, there's some funny, yeah, it's literally like potato butter salt, that's the whole thing.
Well, um, I do want to drift into Discord side of things. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
how how was, I guess, like, I was part of them pretty early on the mod team, but then I kind of just drifted away from the Discord and kind of lost, the mod privileges until I decided to come back. And
Mhm.
and evidently it was like the week before they were holding the like mod
Interview.
apps, the interviews. So it was kind of like I came back and I had to give my sort of feedback, and I'm like, oh crap.
You're like,
How
I
was it?
haven't been here. What do you what do
Yeah.
you want me to do?
I was just sitting in the call, just listening, seeing like around what I could do, because I did, I was kind of moderating some things beforehand, but it was just not
Hmm.
that level. But what was your experience with throughout all of that?
I mean, it was definitely interesting. It's weird. Like, I feel like since I've joined, I'm pretty sure we've only added like one or two additional mods. I think the only two that have come after me would be Rafi, Toby, and
Is
I think yeah, McFizz. Yeah, McFizz, definitely. But I mean, as far as my experience, I'd been in Wayton server for a while, like probably I would say probably one of the early members. I actually did Wayton's coaching back when he was on Gamers Ready.
ooh, that's a
Um,
long time ago.
that was yeah, super long time ago. And so that's sort of I've always sort of watched his videos, blah 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 blah. I've definitely been watching less Rocket League content in general, but people's whose videos that I always tune into would be Sunless and Waitin. Those are the two that I feel like are always like pretty consistently putting out bangers
Yeah.
as far as like content goes. And so just been sort of always like kind of had this server kind of in the peripheral. I'm in a ton of servers, but most of them sort of get put. Mostly just hold on to the ones that I like the emotes in, and so those will just get put into their own little folder, and then sort of I'll prune and do all that kind of stuff as I kind of go. But I'm in a lot of servers, so this was one of them. Saw the sort of announcement whenever that initially went out that you guys were looking for mods, and so I just kind of threw my name in the hat, and I think it was like the same day that I signed up, I got a message from Payne
Oh, some of the
saying that
OGs remember pain. The
yeah,
OGs will remember pain.
he's been like slightly more active than he used to, but obviously he's been super busy being
Yeah.
a teacher and all that good stuff, but um I
Yeah.
forget exactly what I was just saying, but basically, I think it was like the same day. They must have liked what I put down. Couldn't tell you what the questions were or what I actually said. I imagine
That was
that
a
it
long
had
time
something to
ago.
do with yeah, no, I imagine it had something to do with my like IRL job at the moment, or not at the moment, but at the time, since I was like a manager of like a restaurant or building or whatever however I described it then. And so sort of was like, yeah, not really big on moderating like Discords or Twitch chat or anything like that, but I'm like very used to moderating like the public and employees and stuff like that. So I think that was sort of what they liked. They liked that I was a little bit on the older side because I feel like probably a lot of the people that were applying were younger, probably high school or possibly not even high school aged people,
Yeah,
and just looking for a little bit of maturity on the mod team. And I think that's how I ended up getting in.
100%. I mean, in those interviews, um, you were the one person that I remember that after you left the call, we were like, he's definitely a mod. And I think I brought this up a little bit, like very briefly in the McFizz podcast. Um, that you were just the one person that we were like, he's on the team. Like right
Mm-hmm.
after your call, immediately we all stopped, said nothing for like a few seconds, and we're like, he's in. Like
Yeah, because you guys had like wasn't it like a pub, not a public, but you had like a waiting room type
yes,
of thing set up in the Discord, and so I think like all the candidates were all kind of like just
there's like
chilling.
6 people in total, I think, including you. So we were
Yeah,
getting
so
those
we're
interviews
all
like
just chilling in one VC, sort of getting dragged over. Um, I think I'm pretty sure most of the people that were in there, I think, ended up getting in. It was a big expansion at the time because Wayton was just starting to stream.
yeah.
It was like
That's exactly why they
I
did it.
think he was gearing up like all of the mods because he was going to do his 24-hour stream and he needed people to cover for that. And so I think most of the people that were in there ended up coming in. I know a few have sort of dropped off over the last couple of years, but yeah, when did I become a mod? I don't even know how to find that out. Just maybe scroll up in moderation since it's like where the fewest messages would be.
Yeah, I definitely remember those times. I mean, we brought on, it was you,
Think
Toby. It was
well,
you.
no, Toby was after. Toby came after that initial group. I think what it was me, um, Orange, I think, possibly Yax, but I think Yax might have
Orange is
been
one of
like,
the OGs with us, so he was.
oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, he was one
maybe
of.
yeah, maybe you would know better than me, but swear that Orange, maybe he was just around for the interview, and that's why I'm getting that kind of confused.
Well, Orange
Um,
is just one of those guys who's like wants to talk to people. He likes
right.
to. He's a very nice guy. He likes to talk to people, and he was probably just joining in the chat to like kind of just like help relax people, because I know some people actually were interested in being part of the team. I mean, we brought on Yox and Mason for some of the OGs that could remember Mason. Um, Toby was a part of the interviews. But we didn't. He was a late decision because we didn't know what to do with him. But he was part of the interviews that day. I remember that. But it was a very late decision with Toby. I remember we were talking about it and we were confused what to do because it sounded like he was very mature for his age, but
Mhm.
he kind of just had a lot of things going to where we were like, okay, if he becomes a mod, he's not going to be able to, you know, to put as much time as we need. I mean, of course, we're not asking for like 24/7 hours, but he just had so much going on that we were like, okay, maybe he can't put enough time. Um, and we're just making him a mod and he won't like be there most of the time. So
Mhm.
we were like, okay, well, we'll just make him a Twitch mod and see how that goes from there. And I mean, he's been pretty active in the server, more than we expected. But he's just been chilling out. But I do remember he was there. We did an interview with him. I think it was either our last or our second to last, because I believe you were our first or second one, and then
Mhm.
it was Yox, and then it was Cruiser, and then or Cruiser, and then Mason, and then someone else, and then it was Toby. Um, And yeah, definitely some interesting times too. That was a pretty big like upgrade to the server, because I believe Orange was added at that time. I was added just like a couple of days beforehand. Um, because Peyton was gonna stream, and then I was like, you know what, I'll come back to the server. I'll be a little bit more active. Um, try to help out a little bit. So that's when I came on, and I'm like, you know what? why not? And then Orange, part of the OGs as well from the old stuff that we used to do. Um, he was there and he was like, I won't be a. I believe he's a. Is he a regular mod? No, yeah, he's a regular mod.
Hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, I'll help moderate a little bit because we were looking for not just NA people because there's a majority of us NA because we were friends from beforehand. Um, so it was kind of like, okay, Orange being OCE, he could be on in times that we're not available.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a little bit more coverage as far as time zones are concerned,
Yeah,
because obviously there's people from all over in the server or in Twitch chat or whatever. Especially for that 24 hours, you would definitely want someone that is in a different time zone so people can
for
actually
sure.
like sleep or do other things. Um, I was just looking because I was curious. It looks like my first message in moderation was February 1st of 2021. So it's approaching 2 years since I've been a mod, I believe.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that was just like yesterday, honestly.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. But I would I would like to take a second to always thank our sponsor for the modcast,
Have you got
Wayton's
sponsors?
Discord server. Yep.
Okay, okay.
Always
Dang.
sponsoring, always sponsoring. Yep.
Gotcha,
Um
gotcha.
again, feel free to join the Discord server. The link will be in the description. For Spotify listeners, it will also be in the description. You'll see it. Um, and you just feel free to join the server. We're gonna be having another draft tournament next week, Saturday the 26th. Time yet to be announced. That'll be discussed. Um, and will be announced. So if you're interested in joining the draft, like I've said last modcast, feel free join the Discord. Discord's been pretty active recently, so we're having quite a bit of members joining up and being active. So you'll love to see it. Pretty lovely community. Make sure you join up. Link will be in the description. Also subscribe to Wayton. Link will also be in the description. But I would like to move on and go to a different topic that I would like to bring up. So during the whole kind of like fad that was going on with open up Pokemon boxes, I remember I was around the time that you became a mod. I was watching one of your streams. You were opening up a Pokemon box. I don't remember what box it was. Um, but
So
I remember you were
I th-
opening it.
I think at that time, and I think this is accurate. I was opening up a Vivid Voltage booster box. So 36 packs of Vivid Voltage, I think, was what I would have been opening around that time. Um, actually, right before I got onto this, I opened up like a little Premier collector thing. It was like a Lucario box. Like, I don't know how often do you see Pokemon cards in the store or whatever, but basically one
Yeah.
of those like cardboard boxes that has like the big huge Lucario card and then
Oh yeah, yeah, the
two
promo.
other little promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll have those, and then it had 6 little packs inside. I try not to buy too many cards because they are quickly like being devalued essentially, just because people aren't as into it as they were a couple years ago. But it's still definitely something that I like enjoy doing, and um, yeah, I still do pretty regularly. I actually still have like back from the craze, I bought a booster case of um, what was it, of battle styles. So
Mm.
that is 6 booster boxes, or was it 6 or 8? I can't remember. One of those two. But I still have 2 booster boxes left from that I have not opened yet. So
Ooh, that's exciting.
it's a little bit exciting. Like, I guess it's like at any time I could just like pop those bad boys open and just sort of like, I mean, I really like opening Pokemon cards. I think that's so much fun. Like,
Very exciting.
if
Yeah.
I if like if I could have like the job of like those like guys who have like storefronts and people just like buy cards and then they open them and ship them out, like I think I would like have a really good time doing that just because I love just like the anticipation, like all of that. I love like the entire like I love all the theatrics that like go on when you're like opening cards and you have like the little card trick and all that kind of stuff. Like I really get a kick out of it. So anytime that I can go around opening cards, I don't really like. I don't know. I don't have much intentions of doing anything with them. I just kind of store them and like pull them out every once in a while to look at or show people. I've actually had pretty insane luck over the last couple of months, actually. Um, so I think it was last year, like one of the packs that everybody was trying to get their hands on was the Shining Fates set.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of like a remake from the OGs now, I believe, right?
N-
Or it
So
had
no,
the the
Shining
new shiny cards, right?
Yeah, so Shining Fates was, I believe, based off of Shiny Star V, which was like a boutique set in Japan. And so that one has like two slots. Um, it has like a rare slot and then it has a shiny slot. So a lot of people were opening those because you can get like double hits on some of your packs. Um, they don't have any god packs like they had in Shiny Star V. Shiny Star V, you could open it up and it would all be like just like
Oh yeah, god
banger
packs are
cards. Like,
crazy.
yeah, it'd be like V stars. My brother actually was a huge Japanese Pokemon card collector for like multiple years and had he had like a ton of those Shiny Star V like booster boxes.
Uh-huh.
And I think he opened up a couple of god packs while I was watching him like pop open packs and stuff like that. It was really cool to see just like V Star, or whatever they're called, VMAX. Yeah, VMAX is what it was at the time. So just like popping those bad boys open and like seeing like all the shinies and everything else, I thought that was really cool. But the point of me saying all of that is I had really good luck with those over the last couple months. Like they just sort of have been showing up randomly at the grocery store that I go to.
Ooh.
And so I've been like picking them off the shelf, bringing them here, popping them open when I'm kind of bored. And I actually, so a couple months ago, I opened up one, and I got that shiny Charizard VMAX, which I had already
Oh,
pulled
that's a nice
when
card. That's a
I already
nice
pulled
card.
it. Yeah, so I had already pulled it when I originally was like opening those cards. So I had one, and a couple months ago I opened up a second one, and then a little while after that, like maybe the next week, I bought another ETB, and I decided like someone told me when I went to C2E2, which is a big like comic card anime convention in Chicago. Um, Someone told me they're like, "Oh, dude, you don't." He's like, "You haven't done a car pack before." He's like, "You have to open car packs. Like it's like some of my best hits have been in the car." And I was like, "All right, like fuck it, like I'll try it." So, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse,
No,
but
you go ahead. It doesn't matter.
so I was like, "Oh yeah, like for sure. Like I'm just gonna buy this pack, get into the car, and just like pop it open in the car."
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I opened up another Charizard, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Now I've got three of these things, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And when I originally opened them, they were like, it was like a $700 card. It is significantly devalued now.
Oh
I think it's
no.
worth like 150, $200. If you get it graded and it's a 10, it's still like a $700 card. But PSA is it's really expensive to get stuff graded. It
Yeah.
takes a long
Takes a
time.
while. Yeah.
You have to like pack it in a very specific way, so it's like not something that I have like on the horizon, especially because I would want to send in like a pretty big batch, and it's like I think $25 a card or something like that.
That's
So
absurd.
yeah, pretty crazy. What was it? So yeah, not something I plan on doing, but just like getting those three hits, I was like, oh my god, like I must be really lucky. And since then, I haven't had any luck, but I felt pretty good after that.
Yeah, I mean, I as a kid would pick up a pack or two from like the shop that we would go to, and it would always excite me, and I would just get so hyped to open a pack because it's super exciting. You don't know what you're gonna get at the end of it. Um, and some of the cards are really nice. Um, I had recently just opened. I guess not super recently. It was around. I think it was February or March of this year. I'd opened my very first booster box because I was like, you know what? I kind of, I kind of want to. I'm tempted. It's a new set. Why not? My favorite Pokemon is Rayquaza. Uh, So I opened an
Oh,
Evolving Skies booster
I was
box
gonna say yeah, Evolving Skies. You had a
in
booster box?
yeah, an amazing set, by the way. The cards on this set are beautiful.
Yeah, they
So
have like the trainer, not the trainer gallery, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah, those cards are sick.
those are. It's a very nice set. Um, I didn't get the best pulls, but it was definitely fun because that was my first booster box that I've ever opened. So I was kind
Mm.
of like the excitement of just like I have a booster box in my hand. I can actually open all of these packs.
The the one card that I was hoping to get out of those Battle Styles booster boxes that I got was the alternate art like sleeping Tyranitar,
Oh, I've seen
and
that card. I've seen that card.
I
Yeah.
it's such a sick card. I think it's like the only good card in the entire set, and I never got it. I still have the two booster boxes left, but I'm like very doubtful that I'll get it out of those two
Fuck it, man. Open it.
because
Open one,
I
my
think
boy.
I think it's considered a secret rare, and you're not even
Oh,
guaranteed a single secret rare in a booster box. So it's like I just feel like there's no shot because especially since there's other secret rares in
yeah.
it. I've gotten some, just not the chase card that I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I mean, in that booster box, of course, like I said, Rayquaza is my favorite Pokemon, so I was hunting for Rayquaza, and I didn't pull him, which kind of sucks. But I did get a Rainbow Rare in that booster box. I got
Mhm.
the Rainbow Rare Vaporeon is what I got. I
Ooh,
don't
that's kind of sick.
I don't have I got a little binder for it, but I don't have it with me. It's in my boxes somewhere in the garage. But you know, I got that. I got a couple V Maxes that were pretty nice. Um, the only like resemblance to Rayquaza um in that whole set was the regular EV card that I had unboxed, and you can see Rayquaza flying in the background.
Uh,
I was like, yes,
you're like
Copium,
you're
Rayquaza's
like
here.
still counts copium.
Yeah.
I
but
hear
but yeah,
little bit of a different. Well, it's definitely adjacent to what we're talking about. But see if you can hear this, right? Can you hear it?
yeah, it's picking up. Hmm.
All right. I just went out when I was grocery shopping and I got Pokemon Violet and Scarlet.
Oh yeah, you got both of them.
I got both.
I received Scarlet yesterday, but I didn't use my Switch in a while. The last time I did was I was playing some Mario Kart, but
Mhm.
I didn't notice that I probably left it on. So when I got the game, I'm like, yes, I'm booting it up. Let's go. And my Switch was dead, and I'm like, no, dude, I was so upset.
Yeah, so my Switch is actually dead too. So
Unlucky,
it
my boy.
actually finally just turned on. So I'm gonna just click update while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so yeah, now we're updating now. But yeah, I got one for me, one for my girlfriend. So we're both gonna play through it.
Awesome.
I haven't seen much as far as like I've seen reviews on it, but I haven't seen much of like the actual multiplayer. And I didn't want to watch any like Twitch streams or like people just posting gameplay because I don't want to get like spoiled on it or whatever. But um, yeah, I'm very interested to see how it goes since I haven't played like a Pokemon game, haven't bought a Pokemon game since Gen 3. So
Oh
we'll
wow, wow. So you
we'll
haven't
see
played
how it
any of the
goes.
recent ones,
Nope, nope.
dude.
I've
Legends
played.
Arceus is amazing.
That's what I've heard. I played like a very small amount of Heart Gold, uh, either Heart Gold or Soul Silver. I think it might have been Soul Silver. And then I played a small amount of Alpha Sapphire.
Ooh,
But other than that, I have not touched. And like I wouldn't even consider like those being even like me playing through it. Like I'm talking about like I played like the first hour of the game.
I see.
Um, but yeah, like I literally haven't touched Pokemon since Gen 3. Don't know any of the Pokemon, couldn't even tell you what the starters are. And now I don't know, just interested to see what it's like picking it up in I think what is it, Gen 9 now?
Yes, I mean, from what I've seen, there's some pretty good reviews. I like to kind of spoil myself. I like to watch a video or two to see what's going on. I
Yeah.
do want to spoil. I do always spoil myself with every game that comes out with the Pokemon list because I go off of what team I'm gonna build off of that.
Well,
Um,
right, because you it seems like you kind of want to if you're doing that, it's like you want to be able to build a good team,
Yes.
and you kind of have to know what's coming up to
Yeah, exactly.
be able to do that.
That's usually the main thing I like to spoil myself on. When it's come to some of the past games, I have spoiled a little bit of gameplay, but I've tried to stray away from this game because it seems like it's a very good game from what I've seen from the reviews. So I'm
Mm,
pretty excited for this game.
yeah, I've heard good things. The only thing that I'm hoping that sort of gets addressed is, I guess, performance hasn't been the
Mm,
best, but
yeah,
I'm kind of
yeah,
used to that being a Switch user. I feel like that's like almost every single game kind of has like its fair share of performance issues. Other than like, well, even Breath of the Wild did too. But Breath of the Wild, I feel like was very um, it wasn't super noticeable in that game, unless you're like rendering like a ton of stuff on the screen.
no, yeah, definitely. I mean, when it's come to like the Switch, it's a very amazing console, but it's we're getting around the time where we kind of need a newer console.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It doesn't like,
we'll see.
and the thing is like Nintendo tries to like reinvent the wheel every single time they come out with something.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like they literally just need to make the Switch better. Like that's all. They don't have to like go all crazy and innovate. They just literally need to like make it more powerful, and like people would eat that shit up.
yeah, definitely. Um, I from what I've heard from the interviews is the performance issues, and I'm really hoping. I mean, we kind of had that in one of the recent games. I don't remember which game exactly it was. I think it was Sword and Shield. I had got that game, and the first day it was kind of laggy, and then
I
they kind
gotcha.
of like patched it. They did like a patch for it, and it fixed out a lot of the frames, stabilized it, and
Yeah,
it was
I know
good.
that there's a day one patch for it. So a lot of like the reviews that I've seen on it have sort of like discussed that, like, hey, like it's bad for us, or like this part of the game was bad for us, but we're sure that this will get patched, and we've heard that there's like a day one patch. So I'm sure like a lot of it will be polished out by the time I get the thing even loaded. But just hoping that my first experience in Pokemon in like, I don't know, 15 years will be a good one.
Yeah, I mean,
Hoping.
hopefully. But on the topic of uh Pokemon, there's this new type of thing that I'm trying to come up with for all the guests. It's not Pokemon related for all of them, but it's a trivia game that I'm introducing for the guests.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
gonna be asking you a couple questions, and we'll see how you do at the end of it. So
Sure.
my first question is: do you know what the first Pokemon ever made was? Not in the Pokédex, but what the first Pokemon ever made is.
I think it was Clefairy. I'm pretty sure. Man, it was. It's not Pikachu. Although now saying Clefairy, I feel like it's not, because the creator of Pokemon like originally created it because he enjoyed bug catching.
Yeah.
And so now I'm thinking that it might be like Weedle or Caterpie. But um Clefairy, is that right? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Clefairy. I think that was the first one.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Uh, the first Pokemon that ever made was Rhydon.
Rhydon.
Yeah.
Oh man, damn.
Yeah.
I think I was close in Pokemon number, you know?
Yeah, you were close. I think you stuck around that sort of. I think Pokedex number entry. So you might have been close.
Exactly, exactly. Right,
Um,
so Rhydon, not even
Rhydon.
Rhyhorn.
Now, yeah, not even Rhyhorn. It's Rhydon. This is something that I found out like a year and a half ago.
Mm.
I was scrolling through it, and then I searched up more. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a post about it. Of course, I don't trust anything from Instagram, but I was like, it intrigued me because it's Pokemon related. So I did more research on it, and apparently, it actually is the first Pokemon ever made,
Hmm.
which is
Well, that
interesting.
is, yeah, it's very interesting. It's like a very like, I don't feel like anybody is guessing Rhydon as the first of anything. So it's very very intriguing, especially given that I like, I don't know, I like to feel like I'm pretty good at trivia, and so I
Yeah,
feel like knowing that the original game was like based on bug catching,
Yeah,
I feel like is like it's like that's like some good knowledge, but it didn't help with that question at all, just because of how random the first Pokemon is.
it's a very random question, but I guess now you know.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
on to my next question. I was talking about opening up what is it? What was that?
Evolving Skies. Yeah.
Evolving Skies booster box.
Hmm.
Now it isn't the card related, but how many evolutions does Eevee have?
Ooh, like current lore.
Current, yeah.
All right, so here, I'm gonna like put like little tallies, I think, in the chat here. So let's see, we're not counting Eevee, but I'll just say Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Espeon, Umbreon, Glaceon, Leafeon, uh, I feel like there's probably more, like maybe a fairy type evolution. But I think that was 7, so I'm gonna go with 7.
Oh, final answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Oh, when you said fairy, I was like, he has it. He has it.
So there is a fairy
It's
evolution.
Sylveon is the last. It's
Oh
the
my god, so
fairy
I was one
evolution.
off.
Yeah, you're one
Uh,
off. The answer is 8.
so oh my god, so I I like kind of knew it but didn't, because yeah, I've never seen. I think I've like seen it, but I just don't know it. Like I have not seen that name before. That's
Yeah,
funny.
definitely.
So I was close on that one.
You
Close,
were
very
close.
close.
You were close. You were close. Uh, Also we were talking about your Charizards earlier, so I have a
Mm,
evolution line related to that,
okay.
including a mega evolutions. How many evolutions does Charmander have?
Uh, you're only including Mega. You're not like counting like.
Including mega evolutions. So second evolution, and then mega. No.
I got it. Well, give me some hints there. Sounds like. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got Charmander, you got Charmeleon, you got Charizard, and then you've got Charizard, like Mega Charizard X and Y. I don't think that there's any others unless you count like Gigantamax. That's what I was gonna ask, is if like you're
No, not
counting like
counting
that.
Gigantamax.
Okay, so then I would go with Charmeleon, Charizard, and then X and Y, so 4.
Correct.
Yes, let's go.
Now this is a
I have I
very
have I have a shiny X Charizard in Pokemon Go.
beautiful, beautiful. Love that. I love the X evolution for sure.
Mhm.
But this is the last question for my quick trivia game.
Okay.
This is a very controversial question. I guess not controversial, but very like memed question. I would
Mhm.
say. How old is Ash?
I mean, it's hard to even put like I don't know, like a qualifier in front of this, because it's like canonically he's 10. Which is pretty silly considering that I think the anime what aired in like 1998 or something like that, and he
Yeah,
was 10 then.
yeah.
So I mean, he's 10, but I feel like they really. I was actually, I saw like all of like the clips of like him finally winning the world championship in Pokemon and stuff, and I'm like looking at one of these clips, and it's got this dude who like started his Pokemon journey as a 10-year-old, and like they showed like his like sort of upbringing with his Charmander turning into a Charizard and all that kind of stuff, and they aged him up, and yet Ash hasn't aged a single day. In fact, it like
It
looks like
looks like it
he's
reversed.
yeah, he's like Benjamin Button, but he's just like stuck at 10. um I feel like they could have like really done Pokemon better if Ash could actually age. Like, imagine if he is like an adult now, or imagine if he had like a son. Like, it would be like a Naruto Boruto type situation, or like a
That'd be
Goku
interesting. That would be
Gohan.
interesting. Yeah.
Like, that would be cool. Like, if that's like how they continue the story. They got literally they change every character other than Ash in the show. Like, why not just go one step further and actually have him like grow up? I That's not really related to the question. I'm gonna just go with 10 years old, and that'll be my final answer for this one.
Yeah, yeah, he's 10, which is still absurd to think about. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really long answer that gives you my entire thoughts on it. But yeah, like I feel like they really could have done better. Like they could have just made a better show if he actually aged. I feel like it's kind of silly. It's like the silent protagonist trope in like Zelda games. Like just give him a voice, or even the silent protagonist in the Pokemon games. Like just give us voice actors and like
Oh,
stop making us
that's
try to use our imagination.
that's what I've seen a lot of people recommend. I think it would be a great addition. It would add more, um, I guess,
For sure.
connection with the characters. Is
Oh,
like
for sure.
because they actually have a voice to connect with it. I mean, you hear it in the anime, but
Mm.
not every character from the games is in the anime, so you're kind of just stuck there. Like, how does how does that character sound? Like how do they sound?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like they give every single Pokemon like a unique cry or sound or whatever, but none of the humans in the series have ever said anything.
Just
um
text chats, just text
and
chats.
right, and so it turns it into just like reading thousands of lines of text instead of like, I don't know, I feel like you sort of are taken out of the immersion, or you don't read it at all because you're just trying to get through it because it's just, I don't know. Not that reading is hard, but it's just like more work on top of like already like critically thinking about the game. Now you have to like add the step of like actually reading it if you want the lore, rather than it just sort of being more of like a theatrical experience from the beginning.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. I think that's their big. I think that should be like their next biggest move. I mean they did the whole open world stuff or like an open world
Hmm.
theme with like Legends Arceus. Um, so I think that should kind of be their next big move. I think it's something that the community have kind of asked for a little bit because it's
Sure.
something that can immerse the player into the game a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I
Um,
think it'd be huge.
yeah. But moving on from the Pokemon topic, um, do you want to move into kind of more of what the Discord is about, uh, which is more Rocket League stuff. And I'm not sure if you played Rocket League recently or um know much about like what's going on. I don't know if
I
you've seen the
actually
rewards for this upcoming season. It's kind of something I
I
would
have
like to
seen the rewards. I mean, I don't really care much about rewards. I'm pretty set in like what my loadout is. I don't even know. I couldn't tell. Oh, you know what? My current banner is just like, it's like a titanium white octane, I think like neon sign thing. Like that's a neo octane, I
Mm,
think is what it's called.
yeah.
And that's just been it. That's what my thing has been for as long as I can remember. And then I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat as Wayton, where I don't really care much about what my items are. I do have a fair bit of them just from playing the game and like buying keys back in the day. Um, but as far as like buying things in the item shop, I've really kind of not been super interested as far as that's concerned. And the season rewards just kind of feel like, I don't know, stuff that you would get in the item shop essentially, just not something I'm really interested in, or would ever use unless it's like, I don't know, maybe a decal because that's something that I do change on my cars from time to time. But I'm not probably gonna be rocking the new rewards, especially since like I feel like it's almost like embarrassing to put anything else on other than like GC or Supersonic Legend rewards, anyways. Because I feel like
Yeah.
anything else is like you're just not good enough, like get good scrub kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I have asked the past guests this, and I keep planning on asking this because this Discord is more Rocket League related because that's kind of the main content Wait and posts. What do you think of the state of Rocket League right now?
I definitely think that they could be doing more. I feel like other games that I'm playing right now, so like Valorant or um Overwatch at the moment. Overwatch has like weekly updates that like severely impact the game. Um Constantly evolving the meta, constantly sort of trying to tweak the meta. And not that I want Rocket League to change things that are like core mechanics, but I think they could definitely use more content in the game. I feel like we're sort of reaching a point where every single Rocket League content creator is just like desperately grasping at straws just to come up with something. And I feel like because of it, they're becoming like some of the most creative content creators, um, like in any sort of game, because other games, the content is just built in. Like in Valorant, like not that I'm super big fan of like how their skins work or anything like that, but they got new heroes that are introduced. Like they just had the I don't even know what his name is.
Harbor,
Harbor, yeah, the new
yeah,
water
the new
dude,
water guy. Yeah,
water Hanzo. Um, like they had him added to the game, which is just like automatic built-in content. But that the same thing doesn't really apply with Rocket League cars. What they need is to start adding game modes, like when they added that knockout game.
yeah,
Like,
that game mode was incredible.
yeah, that was like super fun, super new, changed the way people played the game, and I don't even think you can play it anymore. Like even if you're in a private lobby, I don't think it's even an option to do. So I think they need stuff like that. I think that they need to be more open to the like map making community, the modding community, like all of that kind of stuff. Like that is great content, but it's put behind like convoluted steps of and procedures. And if you want to play with your friends, like everybody's got to get this one thing, but then that thing like breaks because something is updated, and like, it's a huge mess and a big pain to do anything that isn't just like gameplay in Rocket League or just like comp or like whatever. So I definitely feel for the content creators having to like constantly try to just keep this game like I don't know. I feel like the content creators are the ones keeping the game afloat. The other sort of part of that is the pro scene.
Yeah,
But like for casual people that just want to play the game, I feel like content creators are like the only thing propping the game up at the moment. People that are more serious about the game or have been around for a long time, um, I think are definitely wanting things to change, and hopefully we get some sort of announcement soon for like Unreal Engine 5, because I feel like that's going to be huge uh, for everything that I've sort of mentioned as far as adding things to the game,
for sure.
because they're still working with I think Unreal Engine 3, and so I imagine that it's hard to add things because
It's
just
older.
anything they do right, it's older, and anything they do is going to affect performance like horribly. So on one hand I understand why things aren't happening, but they really should have been more, I think, on top of it as far as like the roadmap for the game, being that it's 2022 and they're still using an engine that's from like 2010, I think.
I definitely agree. And talking about Unreal Engine, um, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. I don't know if you know, but I think it was yesterday or I just know recently Fortnite has released the Rocket League car as a drivable car in the game.
Yep, I saw that.
So we have a Rocket League car in Unreal Engine 5 as of now, which
Yeah,
which is kind of funny to think that it's come out on Fortnite before we have
before Rocket League.
actually, having Unreal Engine 5 on Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of sad, and I mean it. I guess it sort of speaks to the state of Fortnite, seeing how that game is again a good example of a game that is just constantly evolving. Like everything that they do is like number one trending on YouTube type of content. Like you see it all the time. Like they add Dragon Ball Z and everybody's posting clips on TikTok, posting clips on Twitter, posting clips here and there. Like you constantly are seeing it. I haven't played Fortnite since PUBG was out. So what is that, like 6 years ago? Like that's
around.
the last time that I've picked up Fortnite, but I still see all of these things that are happening. Every single thing that they do is a massive event, and I thought Epic like buying Rocket League would make it more similar as far as like a
Kind of like
cultural
production.
phenomenon. Yeah, like production quality, like production in general of like updates. Like I thought that that would be like the type of stuff that we could start seeing, but I don't know. That just hasn't happened yet, and it's definitely disappointing.
I mean, we can only hope that we soon get Unreal Engine 5. I think it's something that once it drops, it'll be massive for the game, definitely. And I think we will see more content coming to the game when Unreal Engine 5 drops. I mean, we'll see what happens. As you can tell, Epic are still um very interested with the game, excuse me. As they straight up brought the octane into Rocket to Fortnite. So you can tell that they're very keen into Rocket League, but we can only hope that
they
we
they know
can.
that it still exists at
Yeah,
least, so we've got
yeah,
that
that's
going for
something.
us.
That's some copium for everyone out there, all the fans out there. But uh, real quick, uh, I just want to ask: do you have a RLCS team that you support?
Um, Not really. I mean, I'm a big fan of like I think everybody in NA kind of is like a little bit of a fan, if not like a massive fan of NRG.
Mm,
I think when NRG is doing well, I feel like that's when RLCS is its most interesting. I just really like I don't know, I really like the dynamic. I really like each player, Garrett, Squishy, Justin. I know that there's like that big rumor of Justin going to Furia now, but
yeah, based off his
I really
title. I remember
what's
seeing
that?
that stream. Yeah, it was like I think a couple days ago. I
Yeah,
remember
Lawler
getting the
like posted that.
notification, and he put on his title was um I think it's Rocket League is
Infuriating.
infuriating. Yeah,
Yeah. Um
I mean
so
it's a memer,
so
so
it could
you caught me on
change.
that.
Right. So like that obviously that dynamic on that team could drastically change if their best player leaves. But um, I don't know. I think my favorite team to watch like right now that's actually like viable in the current format um, is version 1. I feel like Calm, Beast Mode, Torment is like a perfect combination because you've got Beast Mode who is just like a disgusting like mechanical like really offensively strong player. You've got Torment, who is just sort of holding down the back line. Obviously, has a lot of experience in the game and a lot of leadership.
Yeah,
And then you've got Com, who is kind of like the it factor or just like the disruptor on the team. Also, like disgusting like mechanics, but I feel like is a lot more creative than Beast Mode, maybe. And so I really like the dynamic of their team. I really like all of like their attitudes, and so I think version 1 would definitely be like the team that I'm rooting for or that I like the most.
yeah, it's a very solid team to support. They're a very solid team, and I kind of had a feeling in the back of my mind they were gonna say V1. Honestly, um, I don't
Dude,
know what
they're
it
awesome.
was. I just had that feeling. On my side, um, I'm a toss up between either FaZe or G2. I kind of like both teams.
Yeah,
Um,
G2 is kind of sick. I really like I really like ones players. I think a lot of the content that I used to watch in Rocket League was like Johnny Boy's stream when he would just have like show
yeah,
matches
the
on.
show matches. Yeah,
And so like that's how I know Com, that's how I know First Killer. Um those like types of players like when Ahmed and or not Ahmed, I'm sorry, O'Khaled, when he used to have like Scrub Killer on, when he used to have Fairy Peak on, like those are the players that I like gravitate towards and really enjoy watching. And so like having Com on version 1 is like a big reason why I enjoy watching them. I know Com is like super creative, super mechanical, so it's kind of like I don't know how familiar you are with hockey, but Com kind of reminds me of like Datsuk from the Red Wings, or was on the Red Wings back in the day. He's kind of known as the Magic Man, and he just has like to put it in Rocket League terms, he has really sick mechanics. And so he's just like you never know what he's gonna do, and he's just really fun to watch. And I think that's a reason why I gravitate towards players like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's understandable. That's honestly awesome that you have a like kind of like a connection with a sport in that sense, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, it's just like a similar sort of feeling I get watching like First Killer or Calm or Khaled, that I get to watching like an actual sport that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's very like I don't know, it's very strange, but it's also like I don't know, a good way I feel like other people to sort of access esports in general. Like people I feel like stigmatize it, or maybe that's just mostly like my generation, a little bit like older folks. I feel like stigmatize like esports. Obviously, it's huge now. Like every high school has an esports division or team or whatever. Um, Definitely wasn't the case when I was growing up. So it's like very interesting to see, like I don't know, just the sort of comparisons that you can make between real sports and esports.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a very big football fan. Not
Okay.
American football, but you know, soccer is I'd call it. I just again, I'm like
Right, right.
I'm half
I
Mexican,
could I
half
could tell
Salvadorian, so
I could tell how you said it.
yeah. So I'm a very big fan. We have the World Cup coming up soon.
Oh my god, yeah,
Um,
isn't that starting like this weekend?
it's starting tomorrow. We're gonna have our first game tomorrow for the World Cup. I don't remember what teams are going up against each other, but you know I'm very excited for that. And I do see that's one of the reasons why I kind of really enjoyed playing Rocket League and why it got me into Rocket League was because of the fact that it's you know literally just car soccer. I mean,
Hmm.
it's literally what it's called is car soccer. Um,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like, I feel like growing up playing sports or growing up knowing sports and being able to like play Rocket League, it's weird, but a lot of like the fundamentals of like hockey or soccer definitely apply to playing Rocket League. And I feel like players that are also athletes or have also played the sports that this game is sort of based off have a little bit of an advantage. Like I feel like if you play soccer, you know, or if you play, well, I think this is more of like a basketball thing for me, but you always want to be between the opposing player and the goal. Or if you're like trying to save a ball, you want to close down those distances as best you can, before the actual shot even comes so that you have a better chance of saving it. Like those, I feel like core principles of soccer, hockey, basketball all apply in Rocket League. And I think it's really cool that like knowledge in a sport can apply to a video game.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, but if you have nothing else to add, I think we're getting around the end of the podcast. So if you have
Yeah,
any
yeah.
final notes or topics you want to bring up real quick, then feel free.
Well, I don't really think I've got much more. I mean, I, I was gonna say this earlier, but I had like initially opened up, what's it called? I initially opened up Rocket League because I was like, yeah, well, while I'm doing this, I might just like kind of mess around in free play, just like sort of do something with my hands.
Yeah,
And so I'm kind of doing that now, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm feeling like I really I don't know. I think back to like our conversation we were having a second ago about like what we would want to add to Rocket League. It's like I kind of don't have that drive to play Rocket League like I kind of did like I don't know, when I had more free time during like COVID type lockdowns. It's
yeah,
just like not something that's a priority for me. I still want to like grind up and everything else, but I feel like I don't know, Epic or Psyonix or whoever is running the show just really needs to like do something because I don't know. It's a fun game, and like we talked about, being able to apply like real life sports knowledge and everything else to it is cool and all. But I don't know. I really feel like they gotta improve the game. So if there's one last thing that I would want to say, it's like not that Psyonix is watching this or anything, but just like I don't know, give them feedback when you're able to about what sort of features you want to see, what things you want to change, what things you like, what things you don't like. Um, in reviews on social media, like on Reddit. I feel like they're really active on Reddit. So like anybody watching this, just tell them what you want to see, and maybe eventually we'll get to a game that is I don't know, is treated as well as some other ones in other genres.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I would like to, on that note, I would like to say thank you so much, Mo, for coming on to the podcast with me. And I'm sorry that I've delayed it so much. And I'm sorry for the listeners. I know there's some people on the Discord who've really wanted to get the new episode out. And I'm very happy that you guys are all interested in listening to the podcasts. It definitely keeps me motivated on posting more episodes. So I appreciate everyone who listened. Again, on the YouTube side, links will be in the description, and on the Spotify side, links will also be in the description for everything that we've talked about. Again, thank you so much for everyone for listening to this episode of the Modcast, and I will see you all for the next one. Bye bye.